Hello, Senior Stoner fans. Just a real Senior Stoner back at you on Sunday for your Puffco Peak dab of the day with some new SoCal dabbers. Today we're going to be using Cotton Candy OG. That'll be tasty. Well, we've talked a lot about my circular living, about the opportunity at the top of the Ferris wheel for hope and opportunity. But we don't often talk about people's transformations, people's development, how we develop, how we transform, frankly, into the people we want to be. How do you do it? Well, it's pretty easy to get started. Let's talk about it. I think, first of all, you shouldn't expect yourself to be anywhere other than where you are now. You got to accept your certain place you are, the current place you are on your life path. You can anticipate the next phase of your life beyond the one you're in, so you can be prepared for it. So anticipation of that is good. But you've also got to be compassionate and understanding to others, because others may not be in the same phase of life you're in. So what happens is there's a lot of overlap between what we want to do to improve our lives and what others want to do for us to help us improve our lives. There are 5 phases of this improvement process, of this development process. It's self-development. Check it out. The first, believe it or not, is asleep. So if we're doing this now, if you're listening to me right now, you're not sleeping. If you were asleep, it wouldn't be heard. So conditioning and fears don't happen when you're asleep. Because think about it, you don't have the ability to do anything. You're asleep. But there are side effects of being asleep. The side effect is you place blame on others because you didn't do anything. And I mean mentally asleep. That you have fear and you have lack of the fulfillment of what you wanted to accomplish. So eventually people learn about the word asleep on cruise control for their lives, and they change it. And what they change it to is what's called the awakening stage. That's right. You've had what's called an expectation hangover. That's right. You've expected a lot of things from ourselves and others and found what we offer disappointing. We are not there yet. So we finally wake up and start asking ourselves, why does that keep happening? Why do things not go the way I want them to go? Why do I not get to that next level? We begin to learn that things in our lives are not random. So we look for answers when we feel the awakening process. If you're smart and you think about it, you connect the dots. And then you start learning and finding out more. Exciting and difficult things. The awakening stage. In the next stage, you shift from knowing things to doing things. It's called the integration stage. And if you feel like you have a lot of information, but it's not reflected in the things you do, it's the integration phase. You're in the middle of it. So you got to get tougher at that point and start letting the rubber meet the road and making things happen. Because awareness isn't enough for transformation. You've got to change belief. You've got to change what you do. You got to find a way to let go of the old things and upgrade that internal programming. So it's really hard emotional work sometimes people have to do. And you know what? We have the skills. We've learned them. And now we got to put them into action. We talked about it. And you know what you get a lot of times? You even get do-overs. That's right. You get chances to respond in different ways to situations you never responded to. And you know what the most powerful way to break a pattern is? Integrate those do-overs into action and awareness. Action and awareness. I'm almost sounding like I'm talking about the stages of grief, but it's different. Because the 4th stage is acceptance. Because you've made some new habits, you found new ways of acting, now you begin to accept that that's okay, if not better, to act that way. Not new people, but we're more ourselves because we're in touch with what we're doing. So you're not totally evolved at this point. You have much more to work on at this point because we're human. But the difference between now and what we got before is you can move past what's going on and get into the acceptance phase. You stop fighting that it's reality. You either accept it or try to change it. Because guess what? At this point, you're starting to be happy with yourself. At this point, you're no longer a slave to your emotional impulses. You've accepted facts. Action. We talk about action all the time here. How about application and service, number 5? You know, it's about bigger things. It's about now changing the lives of others. Kind of like me, how I've gotten to the point on YouTube where I hope I'm helping people. So we kind of called, in our house here, it's called love. But I think outside it's called caring. So what happens is a lot of people want to jump into this phase and start helping before they're finished with their own stuff. Well, there's no gold star, there's no finish line. You just have to know when you're buttoned up enough that you can go try to help others. You'll know. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation, but hopefully a little structure, a little of this type of thinking helps people in their spirit and their mind. Because every one of those 5 things is a learning opportunity. And you must be grateful at every one of those places as well. The only thing I'm going to say is you got to have limited expectations. You got to be aware of the triggers that problems give us. And you have to be open to the self-discovery. So I'd like to hear what you think about this. This has been the Real Senior Stoner. Let's take our dab. We're going to use, as I said, SoCal Dabbers, brand new gram of cotton candy, diamonds. Cheers, everybody. Here we go. And remember from this, okay? Let's get our minds, okay, and our bodies hooked up so we can improve our lives. Cheers, everybody. Once again, the Puffco Peak, a very reliable piece for lip-smacking hits. And thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you can, put those 5 things together. If you can't, put a couple of them together. You'll be better off for it. Cheers, everybody, and have a great Sunday.